Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel Gizmonk. Today we are reviewing the glorious Modelo wireless gaming mouse. With programmable features, RGB lights and precision sensor, this is quite a beast. Today we go through all the features in detail and check how good the gaming experience is. The first thing that you notice is the unique mesh type design. And for those of you who are wondering who the bearded man is, that's the logo of Glorious Company, which makes these mice. Glorious was founded by a gamer in Texas, US, and makes gaming mice, keyboards, and accessories, and mostly compete with niche gaming brands like SteelSeries and Razer. The mouse we are reviewing today, Modelo Wireless, also has a wired version. In the Modelo range, you have two color options, black and white with matte finish. It has a BAMF sensor, wireless capability, 71-hour backup, ultra light at 69 grams, and it's ideal for users with large to medium hands. Between the black and white options, I felt the white looked pristine, but it comes down to personal preferences. Looking at the standing box, it's not hard to notice that this is a big mouse. But don't freak out thinking that this wouldn't be for people with small to medium size hands. I fall in that category and I found it quite comfortable to hold, and at 69 gram it is lightweight. I have used their competitor brand SteelSeries Aerox 3 wireless as well, and would say that the latter has a much more lighter feeling hand, and I guess that's because it's a bit smaller. Looking at the box, there's a dash of orange and black theme with the glorious logo, the bearded man, much like the funny hangover guy or Viking guy everywhere. But it gives an aggressive aura to the mouse. Now let's check what's inside. As we open the box, we are greeted with the man himself. It sits flush in the box with all other accessories packaged well under it. We'll cover all cables and other items in the box in a little while. So as you know, this is a wireless mouse with what Glorious calls the lowest latency of any mouse of its class. That means when you're trying desperately to shoot your opponent, it would have sent the signal at the right time and your opponent must have been shot, provided you have shot properly. In the Model O series, they also have a Model O-, which is 4 grams lighter, which means it's smaller than this one in terms of length, breadth and width. Now, let's talk about how it feels in hand. Yes, we have the Viking guy prominently featured on one side with two buttons which are remappable to things like opening apps or going back on applications. And the honeycomb design, more like the design of beehives, is really lovely to look at. And to the other side, we have the sweeping LED light strip and Glorious logo written in text. And to the front you have the Type-C port where you can connect the USB 2 cable while charging. You can also notice the nice contours of fingers on the buttons. On the top you have the scroll wheel with a good textured and chunky feel to it. You also have the DPI button allowing you to change the settings. On the bottom you have the labels, the sensor, DPI indicator and power button. Now the other distinct feature of this mouse are these mouse feet, which Glorious calls G-Skates feet, which I must say helps it glide and doesn't have that resistance of cheap gaming mice. You also have the option of replacing them from Glorious side when they wear out. And when you power it on, oh boy, the Glorious comes into life in all its glory. With those 16.8 million RGB colors across the white body, it looks fantastic. Now that we have the mouse out of the box, let's take a look at what else is there inside the box. Along with the extender, we have the Type-C USB 2 braided cable under the box. Has the Type-C at one end which plugs into the mouse for charging and USB 2 at the other end to connect to your PC or laptop. And we have the usual Glorious cards and manual leaflet. Now let's look into the extender dongle, which is not very common. It feels small but chunky with a soft rubberized texture which could be placed on your table, avoiding any scratches to its body. The Viking guy logo on the other side is there with a reflective touch, and the USB dongle with Glorious logo in text is written on it. I kinda like these small design details that Glorious has put in. On the other side, you have the Type-C port where you will plug in the cable, which will eventually plug into back of your computer. You may wonder what's the need for this when I can plug the USB dongle right into the PC. There are times when you're in a hurry and you want to use the mouse with your laptop or any other machine. With the extender, you can quickly pull the dongle from your desk and run. I've always been bugged with going behind the PC, checking where the USB dongle is and then pulling it. When I first saw this mouse, I tried to search on YouTube for any proper review which mentions the use for this extender, but I didn't find any, and hence mentioning it for those who are curious. Overall, it's a pleasant design, pleasing to look at, with the soft RGB lights emanating through the LED strips on either end and through the honeycomb. And yeah, the Viking guy still looks angry. The honeycomb design, according to Glorious, makes it easy to clean, and I haven't noticed the holes getting messy even after long usage. And as you may have noticed by now, this is not your regular mouse. This is a gaming mouse, which makes it more expensive than the rest, but definitely with more features, bells and whistles. And that means customization to the core using Glorious's core software, which you can download and install from their site. There are 6 programmable buttons: left, right and scroll clicks, 2 buttons on one side and the DPI cycle up button on the top. As you can see, when you click the right button for programming, the software shows you all the remaps available, like combination keys, keyboard functions, which you can map to the buttons, interchanging existing mouse functions with other buttons, DPI changing, macro mapping where you can record, import or export macros, multimedia controls, or even launch a website or application. Now you know why you pay double the money for a gaming mouse besides the fancy RGB lights, and you have the same programmable options for all other 6 buttons. Now let's see the gaming performance in real first-person shooter games. I have here the Tom Clancy game from Ubisoft to show you how the mouse performs. You can see how accurately it focuses into the target as I right click, and how stable it is as I keep firing those shots with the left clicks. Even though the DPI was high, I was still able to find stability while shooting. You could quickly reduce the DPI with the DPI button below the scroll wheel, which will reduce the sudden flicks. And by the way, Tom Clancy is sick with its graphics in ultra settings. The BAMF sensor inside was designed along with PixArt and gives the precision while gaming. And as you come to the Glorious Core software interface again, you can see the various set DPI numbers, and as you increase that, the mouse movement becomes extremely responsive. I feel anything above 2500 DPI was way above my liking. You can drag the DPI setting to easily set your preferred number, but I would prefer radio buttons to select the DPI. Other mouse parameters like the lift-off distance and debounce time adjustments were a novelty compared to other gaming mice software I have used. You can also change the polling rate if you need to. Now let's talk about RGB lighting. Unlike some boring RGB mice, I'm looking at you, Logitech. Glorious has implemented RGB well throughout the design. With full RGB 16.8 million custom colors and 3-zone RGB lighting, it's a color riot. Lighting is controlled from Glorious's core software interface. As you plug in the mouse, you can see the charging status. Only cons is that you always see a black mouse even if your mouse is white in color, as was my case. There's also much to be desired about the bugs to be sorted out in the software, such as firmware updates being sometimes buggy while updating. As you click lighting at the top, you have a slide-in menu with lighting effects where you can change the effect, the speed of the effect and the brightness level. You can choose the drop-down and see the various modes. Let's try out with the turn off LED, and you can see how the LEDs are off now. Next effect is the wave, where the lighting changes to a wave-like pattern with all RGB colors. As you change the rate slider, You can see the lighting now becomes rapid. Next is the rave effect, where you have the choice of two color combinations, red, yellow or yellow and blue, which we were choosing, and you can see how the color changes to two color pattern. The next effect is called tail, where the light pattern runs to the tail of the mouse, which is also cool. Next effect is breathing single color, where you can choose one color. For example, if you choose the blue color, the lights show only the breathing blue color. The next one is single color, and the color changes to one static color, like red here. The next one is breathing, which gives you a choice of 6 colors in breathing pattern effect. The next effect is seamless breathing, where you don't see any gaps in the breathing pattern. And the final one is, guess the name, glorious mode, which brings the RGB into its full glory with entire RGB colors. So you know now why I called it a color riot earlier. Last but not least, battery backup while on wireless mode is good, but with all RGB effects turned on, you need to lower your expectations. You can expect something around 2 to 3 days with full RGB and no automatic sleep mode. So that's all from us this time, guys. Hope you enjoyed the detailed review. Hopefully this should help you decide on a gaming mouse, and if you're considering glorious model over wireless. And as I said, availability in India is a bit tough, but you can source it from US or Australia through your friends or family. And as usual, do put a like and more importantly subscribe and share, which helps our channel to grow and keep making videos such as these for you. Do comment if you would like to see any other reviews or products analyzed. See ya from Gizmonk.